Hey there, it's Kathy, and I'm here with day 2 for the Be a Leader Masterclass. So we are just about at 10 a.m. here, and on just a few seconds early so that people can log on and get ready and get situated. So let me start by saying, depending upon whether you're on the email reminder list or not, my apologies. Use your air. I take full responsibility. There were a couple of emails that went out yesterday and nothing that went out this morning until I forced it because there were some glitches in what I had set up in my back-end campaign for emails. So I will send later today. It'll come out around 2:30 or 3 o'clock today. The links so that you can watch yesterday's video if you missed it, but also today's video if you missed it. And typically what I'm doing, just so you know, there'll be a little reminder email that'll come in the morning that'll just remind you that we're getting live. And then in the afternoon, I'm sending the links to the actual content, what was actually shared. So if you are not able to join us live, you are able to watch the recordings. They are on my YouTube channel, and you'll have a link, a direct link. But again, user error, my user error here in a couple of the back end details, so I apologize for that. But I am excited that you are here today and back for day 2 of the Be a Leader Masterclass. And today we're going to be talking about the essential questions that you need to be asking yourself as you step into becoming a leader. Good morning, Brooke. Good to have you here. That reminds me, let me just say, for any housekeeping details. So as you can see, if you're on my Facebook page, in the Facebook group, I am using something called StreamYard, which is a great tool. Like, isn't it wonderful how, like, on the bottom here, it's all personalized? I love this thing. And you can stream in multiple locations, but enough of that. Anyway, if you would like to comment, if you would like to engage with me, because I'm not in Facebook or on Facebook right now or on YouTube, I'm using StreamYard. So you need to give StreamYard permission to share and show your name. Good morning, Catherine. Good to see you. Oh, so fun to see the name. See? All you got to do is click on the permission and you're good to go. So yesterday we talked about the mindset essentials of being a leader, one who leans in, one who listens, and one who really leads from that core place within our hearts, using that intuitive feminine guidance, right? Just as a real quick recap, they were be intentional, really be intentional, clarity what you're doing, commit to growth, to commit to reaching out of your comfort zone, commit to something, right? Commit. Focus, right? And we need patience and endurance when we are focusing on what we're aiming towards, not being attached to the specific outcome, what we think it needs to look like, because it may happen even better. But again, don't be attached to the outcome. Invest in yourself, invest your time, invest your resources, invest your knowledge, right? Invest in learning, right? Time, time, talent, treasure, all that. Invest in you. Keep moving. Got to have persistence. We got to keep going. We got to keep going, even though it may be just a little tiny baby step or a giant leap each day, keep it going. And faith, walking in faith and trust. And as I said yesterday, the definition for me of faith is belief in a higher power, whatever that higher power is with you. And what I want to say today, I may use the word God, and I may have a couple things I want to share with you, but I need you to understand from me. This isn't about any particular religion. No, it's about a relationship with my higher power, with your higher power, whatever that is. Sure, it could be God, but how about source, divine, Mother Earth, universe, whatever it is for you, whatever makes you comfortable. That is how I see faith. And it is not for any of us to judge what that looks like for you, but that if you have a higher power, then some of this will resonate with you today. Actually, hopefully a lot of it will resonate with you in what I'm doing. So today we're going to be talking about the questions that you need to ask yourself and how you can really access that deep soul work. And it is deep soul work, right? As we are leaders, as we are feminine women, divine leaders, right? And stepping into that calling, that nudge, that desire, whatever it is, right? We really do need to access that deep intuition that we have within, right? It's accessing it's our soul, right? Really listening, being able to ask those questions so we can hear. And we're going to talk tomorrow a little bit about how do you access the answers. But today we're going to talk about what those questions are. And I'm going to give you the questions. I'll send them in the email recap too. And I'll put, if if you're watching the recording, I'll put the link if you want to get on the email, because I send the questions in case you don't write them down on this. But it's important to ponder these questions. In fact, I would really highly suggest journaling. I know not everybody likes journaling, and you don't have to do it in a book. You don't have to be in a notebook. It can be on your computer or your laptop, or even on your phone, right? If you're accessing this on your phone. But it's important to give some thought to this, right? And hot penning is something I talk a lot about. If you've ever been to any of my classes or my workshops or my in-person, I have people hot pen. Why do I have people hot pen? And what is hot penning? Let me explain that. Hot penning is where you have a question, you have something that you really want to get deeper with, right? You put your pen on that paper, or I suppose your fingers on the keyboard, before that you set the timer for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And you take that question and you just start answering, and you're hot penning the answer. You are pouring out your soul. It is just, you're letting that stream of consciousness come out. And I know some people have said to me, well, I don't know what to write. I don't have anything to answer in that question. Here's the thing. If you get in that place of quiet, if you make the space for yourself, obviously, for doing this, but take that question with you. And at the beginning, if you're not sure what to write, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write, or I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. And if you allow your heart to open up, and it will, as you are just flowing on the paper, the inner soul, that inner guidance, the things that you're feeling, they're going to start bubbling up. They're going to start coming out on that paper. And 9 times out of 10, I have people who say to me, that wasn't enough time, Kathy, I need more time. When we were in Scotland and I gave them 20 minutes to go do an exercise and gave them a question, and they're like, I'm still not done. I need more time. So again, it allows the flowing. And that's why it's important to have these questions, these essential questions that you ask yourself. And this isn't necessarily a one and done. This isn't where you sit down for the next 5 minutes after this training and quickly write down the answers, right? This is a deeper, because to be a leader, you got to have that soul work, right? It's got to be, a leader with an ER, it can be up here. It can be all the surface. We're talking about becoming a LeadHER, where we're really deepening and diving into that divine within us, so that we can show up and be the best person that we're supposed to be. So we can be the person that we're supposed to be in this universe, so that we can lead and make a difference like you're meant to do. And I know you are, or you wouldn't be here. Okay. So here are the questions. The first one is why, right? And why are you feeling this call? Why are you feeling this need? Where is your purpose? Why is your purpose? And let me take a step back real quick. In this vein with this why is, there's a couple books that I love that I will draw the circle. Mark Madison is wonderful, but this one, it's actually called Jesus CEO. Don't let the title scare you, please. But it's got a daily thing, and it talks a lot about this as being a leader, right? And I thought this was a great analogy of kind of looking in your heart and your soul and figuring out this why for you, right? The book talks about this idea of the burning heart, the burning bush, and the burning house, okay? And it does reference this idea. There are some Bible references, obviously, in this book. But the idea here is when you have that burning desire in your heart, when there is that desire in your heart that you will go fight for anything, right? That it is out there, that you want to fight the giant, that you want to do it. It's in there. In fact, there's a great quote, I wrote it down here, a great quote from Denzel Washington. True desire in your heart, that burning desire in your heart for anything, is God's promise to you that it's already yours. So what is that burning desire in your heart? What is, is there something that's burning in your heart? There's one why. Then there's the idea of the burning bush, okay, as a leader. So, I'm sure the burning bush, Moses, the burning bush, right? So it's a surprise, right? It's something that comes up out of the blue. It's not necessarily planned or whatever. It's that thing that happens in your life and you're like, oh, wow, this is what I need to do. I need to go for this. Yeah, that's where I'm called, or that's where I need to put my energy, or that's where I need to lead, right? Have you ever had that experience? I'd love, if you're on there and you would like to chat and share it, I would love to hear that. It's when my son was going through, a number of years ago, when he was going through his challenges, right? And I knew that I had that burning bush moment where I knew I needed to write the book. Whose addiction is it anyway? I needed to serve and I needed to help and I need to come out. And the why was because of that burning bush moment, right? And knowing that there were things that I could do to support others, that I could love on others, that I could reflect that compassion and kindness and empathy that are going through the same thing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. The third one is the burning house. And this is where this particular book references a story in the Bible where, Queen Esther had to conceal her identity, but she knew something was going on. She knew something was that the house was about to be burned down, right? And so she needed to step out in a big, bold way as a leader, risking other people thinking that, she was crazy, risking her life, truly, to be able to step into that leadership role because of this burning building feeling, right? So is there something that's for you a burning building? So again, this idea of the burning heart, the burning bush, a burning building, really stepping into that leadership role. And so asking yourself that question, why, right? And when you think about these things, is there a why? So I'll tell you a story about an experience I had on an airplane back in August of 2014, 2015, I don't know, somewhere, 2015, August of 2015. And I was literally on an airplane. I was flying back from Northern California. My husband, ex-husband, but was literally, we had the middle seat open and then he was over here. And I was just in that place of starting to fall asleep. There's that kind of like that twilight. And I was awoken like that, knowing that I had been called to write the book, Whose Addiction It Is Anyway, and step into helping, serving, and supporting in that moment, right? That was an immediate why. I knew I was called, and that was a time in my life where I could really serve in that capacity. I've had other experiences in where I'm, doing with the Yes I Can, right? If you know the Yes I Can story, and that moment of, seeing one woman can, and heck yes I can, right? And being able to shout that from the mountaintops and help support women around the world really in embodying and embracing that yes I can for them. That is so important to me, right? And even in what I'm doing now, in stepping into this leadership or the divine yes, the empowering women on this level to be able to look deeper within and look within their souls. So the why, what are you called to do? What is your purpose? What is the universe calling you to do? Is there something, is there a burning bush moment? Is there a burning desire in your heart? Is there something that the universe is saying to you, you got to do this. Catherine, you got to do this. Brooke, this is calling you, right? It's that thing that you can't stop thinking about. It may be here in the back of your mind because you're afraid to step into it, but it's still there. That desire never goes away. So what is that why? And I know many of us, we ask, who am I to do that? Who am I? Who am I to teach this class? Like seriously, who am I to teach this? Who am I to be the Yes I Can coach, right? But if you look at what that why is, if you look at how you are meant and built and the experiences and the things that you've had in your life that have helped you get where you are, to be able to serve in that capacity. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I hope it does. And that's where I'm going. This idea that there's a phrase, there's a mantra or whatever that I've heard. It says, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So the universe doesn't call the qualified. It qualifies the called. So when you feel called, when you feel that burning desire, that burning bush, that burning house, that thing that you are being called into, I want you to lean into that. And today what I want you to think about is why? Why am I being called to do that? What is it in my experience, in my past, in my life, in my soul, in my heart, in my values, whatever it is? Why am I being called in that area? Okay, the second question, how? How are you being called to step up and serve in that way? Okay, so, it could be, for me, I'm being called to serve in having the Divine Yes retreats and doing them. I feel called to do them in various locations around the country, right? Not everybody's going to come to me. I need to take the message out, right? But it could be also, somebody who wants to be in a relationship, or somebody who wants to be a parent, right? How am I being called to serve? How am I being called to serve and step up to the greatest possible potential of the person that I'm meant to be in serving? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Again, I'd love to hear your comments, or you know what, if you're not comfortable making the comments, email me afterwards, because I know the how sometimes gets lost and we're not sure how, and we're not sure exactly what it looks like. And sometimes we need to take a step back right? I mean, I shared yesterday, I've taken a step. Well, the last 18 months, I've definitely done some pondering, but even the last 6 months since January, it was really getting quiet within and listening to that and letting that how bubble up. How is it supposed to, and it's gone this way and it's gone that way. But when you look at your life, and again, it's all areas, health, wealth, life, love, bucket list, careers, your own business, right? How are you being called to step up? And I know some of you on the chat, and I know what that how is, and leading into that, right? I really want to encourage you with everything in my body to take that first step. Okay, third question. Who does God want me to serve? Who does the universe want me to serve? Who am I supposed to serve? Is it in your business, women entrepreneurs? If you're a parent, is it stepping into being a bigger leader in your family and or in your community? Is there something philanthropic or something in your group of friends? Or how and who, right? Who is it? And it's going to change with time. It's not always going to be the same, right? I mean, if you're looking at this just from a business sense, right? For me, like it helped me get really clear on who the target market is and who it's not, right? So that makes it easy. But when you're looking at that bigger picture, right? What is it meant to be? So let me give you an example of another friend of mine who serves in a big way. She serves in a big way, and her why is very clear to her. Wanting to support women, helping them get the education that they need, and so that makes that who really easy, right? It's women who are, don't have the funds, who don't have the right. So when she's looking at serving, and she is serving, this isn't her career, this is all volunteer, right? And so she's very clear on what her purpose is and how she's meant to lead and how she's meant to show up. And she listens within to be able to, she's kind of taking a step back right now to listen within and figure out how do I best serve in that capacity to those women that I'm meant to, right? Makes sense? Yeah, okay. I'm here to serve female entrepreneurs and people who have a history of cancer. Okay, right? Catherine, I love that. I absolutely love that, right? Because it's our experiences. It's those things we've been through, right? I had a son that had drug abuse problems. And at the time, that was where I needed to step in and support the mothers and the families that were in that, right? We've been through things. I humbly believe that we go through things that we are also meant to hold the space for and potentially teach and support and serve, right? Sometimes it's too new and too fresh. So I'm not suggesting that you, if you've just gone through a divorce and you know that you're meant to support other women who are going through a divorce, make sure that you have also done the work and you're on the other side so that you can bring them through. Does that make sense? Because sometimes we get so passionate about what it is, but we haven't actually gotten through the mess yet and need to get a little further along before we step into, right? And I've seen that happen, and it can be dangerous to you, right? It can be harmful to you because you're not actually through the thick of it yet, but it can also hurt the people that you're bringing into it. So that's just a little sidebar, but yes, I love it, Catherine. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. Okay. Next question is when. Don't we all want to know when? How's it supposed to look? When is it going to happen, right? When? Tomorrow? Next month? I'm gonna map out my 5-year plan, right? And I wrap out a 5-year plan. Okay. And the universe laughs, right? I'm sure none of you have had that experience. It just laughs. Like, really, Kathy? You thought that you were going to do that next week? Seriously, Kathy? That's not going to happen, right? It is in the universe's time and flow. So in my humble opinion, again, I believe that, I'm on this planet to lead in something. I am doing the steps. I'm taking the steps that I need to do to lead it, right? Because as I said yesterday, you can't steer from a parked car. You can't go left or right or whatever, right? You can't make any unless you're moving. So you got to be moving so that things can be tweaked. But we're not necessarily going to know what the exact date or time or whatever is. Yes, I can put on there that I can put in my goals that, by the end of the year, I want to be serving 50 women, setting the intentions, right? I'm setting the intentions. And I do think there is something to be said about setting the intention, right? Because we want to be moving. We want to be moving forward. We need to set the goals. We need to set the intention and move forward. We need to put it out into the universe. We need to talk to our higher power and say, this is where I'm wanting to go, right? And then surrender, right? Okay, this is where I'm going. So this is where I'm working towards. And then when something comes in our way, we have an obstacle that comes up, or maybe something doesn't work exactly right, allowing and learning from that, right? But understanding it's really, we don't have, as much as I'd like to have control, we don't, right? In the overall universal timing of things. So understanding that the when, yes, moving forward, yes, setting some timelines and some goals. And, this isn't about just, hoping and wishing on a star, right? We got to do the work. But also understanding that it's not going to necessarily happen in the exact time frame or exactly how we want it to look. So I hope that makes sense. So it's kind of that surrender. It's having the faith that the timing is going to be right. Maybe you need to meet somebody else. Maybe you need to experience something else. Maybe there's something that's going to happen in your life that's going to be like, oh, that needed to be added before this can fully manifest. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I know I just, not being able to interact with you, it makes it so hard. But because I want to be able to answer questions. I want to be able to talk to you. I want to be able to, right? Okay. So the last two questions that I'll share with you that aren't necessarily answerable, but, or maybe come with time as you're going through some of this, is the what and the where, right? So, is it the what? Is it a program? Is it, I don't know, whatever it is. And then the where, the geographic location or there's lots of questions that can come up with that. So we're at 20 minutes here and I want to end on time. Those are the questions I want you to think about today. And whether you get a journal or whether you get, your laptop out, let's go back over that. Why? Why am I being called to serve? Why is it that's moving me in this direction? Is it a burning desire in my heart? Is it a burning bush moment? Is it a burning building, right? Why is it so important to me, so important to the universe that it keeps coming up? How? How am I being called to step out and serve? How? What does that look like? Who? Who am I meant to be serving? Get really clear on who that person is, who that thing is, where it is, when. I want to really encourage you to set some timeline goals and then to bless and release it. Right? This idea of surrendering, right? Like, I know who I want to serve. I know how I want to serve. I've learned when I want to serve, right? All those pieces. But I know that I also need to allow for the flow of God, the universe, divine. And that it's only going to happen in that timing. And that I need to let go and let things flow, right? It was a great story, and I'll end with this, I want you to picture yourself on your back, floating down a river. Right? And you're literally just floating. It's like tubing, right? Tubing down the river. And you are, you're relaxed. Your head is up. Your feet are up, right? You are just literally in this float. And all of a sudden you hit some rapids. And what is your initial instinct? It's right to oh my gosh, right? And you start to go under and you can't get yourself up. And it's that panic moment, right? And when we're in a panic, what happens? Especially in the water, right? We start to sink. We can't find the top, right? And it's not until we have that moment where we're able to move ourselves back into that, literally on our back, to allow that flow to continue, right? Or for something to stop us from that panic. I was in rapids in Canada years ago and got thrown out of a raft into the rapids and saw my life flash in front of me. And literally a hand came into that water and dumped me on the top of the other raft, the guy who was saving me. And it was a person, but I prophetically, it just felt like the hand of God lifting me out of that because I went into complete panic. But when I was able to relax, right? And so this idea of how can you get yourself in that flow, right? So that you are in that place, allowing, not pushing, not pulling, because that's what a LeadHER, leading from those divine feminine places, is going to have that success that you desire. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how to access those answers within that you are meant to access, right? And what that looks like. The following day on Thursday, we're going to be talking about the 8 fundamental tools that you have to have in your toolbox. These are divine feminine tools that you have to have, embody, embrace in your life to really be able to stand up as a leader. These are they're non-negotiable tools for your toolbox. So I can't wait to share those. And then on Friday, we're going to be talking about the 1 simple action that you need to take, as well as how you can create a 30-day plan, an action plan based on, the questions that you've asked yourself, the answers you've had, and the inspiration that you've gotten here. So that is today's class. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here. With any luck, I'll have that whole email stream all sorted out this afternoon, so we won't have any more mistaken emails. If you've got any questions, hit reply to those emails or DM me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you are, in YouTube, make a comment, because I would love to interact with you. This isn't about just me. This is about us and how I can support you in stepping into your true leadership role in all areas of your life. Okay. All right. With that said, I hope you have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow, Wednesday. All right. Bye-bye.